Okay, so what we're doing for this fan episode that we haven't done in the other ones is, so we're getting fans listening to our episodes after the book cycle, so they're not like necessarily up to date on the episodes, so they're commenting on books that we are not currently talking about, so they're missing interacting with us when it comes to the fan episode. So what we're doing now is we're going to discuss whatever fan feedback or comments have happened during that book cycle, but it might not necessarily be about nonviolent communication.
Wonderful.
I like this more. Yeah.
Me too.
On YouTube, we got quite a bit actually on YouTube recently. Untamed, apologizing and making mistakes, inside truth versus outside advice, from episode 4 of Untamed. Someone just gave us like a thumbs up, so I thought it'd be nice to give you guys encouragement. Great content. Keep up the good work. And that was like from a really previous book, and that was just recently, so that was nice. One that we can kind of go back and forth on, and what made me change this rule is on white fragility, the episode 6 fan episode. My constructive criticism is that your book review would be more insightful if you use more research and critical thinking skills in your discussion. What similarities does the book White Fragility have with critical race theory? What are the differences? Robin DiAngelo got a lot of flack for holding space in a Black movement. Should we be giving more space to Black authors? Can the opinions in this work be seen as an example of a kafta trap? Why or why not? How could generalizations and class differences apply to the opinions in this work? So I obviously was like, I wish we could have had your comment before we did that episode, because she was commenting on the fan episode. When I responded to her, I was saying how we didn't really get that much feedback during White Fragility, so we didn't have a lot of fan information to go on during that episode. And then I told her how we have 5 other episodes, whatever, and she returned back. And so I thought we could discuss her comment, but she also said, she said thank you for her response, the response I gave her, and that she gives me permission to talk about her comment on our next fan episode if I was willing to, and she would like us to see us read Nice Racism when it comes out.
Which is also a Robin DiAngelo, her new book, right?
Her new book, yeah, her new book.
Saying that when your response, you kind of said like, we're not really that necessarily that kind of podcast, but that also we did touch on some of these topics in other episodes. And so I think sometimes when people just listen to one episode of our program, they might think, oh, that's all we had to say on the book, but not everybody knows that we're doing 6 episodes on one book. So even if you're listening to one, you might be like, oh, okay, great. Let me listen to the others, and then I'll kind of get the full viewpoint. But it was really nice. She commented.
Can somebody tell me what a kafta trap is?
It's kind of like if a good example would be if you say to somebody like, you always disagree. And then that person goes, no, I don't.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Right. And that's like that. Right. So in this case, it would be like, I'm saying I'm not racist, but because I'm racist, a racist would say they're not racist, or like something along those lines, right? So it kind of is, but who cares? It's a trap. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just a thing that can be true as well as not remove any value from the conversation or the topic. And as far as your critical race theory statement, I think that this book is written from that standpoint. Like, I think it's rooted in critical race theory, the whole anti-racist movement. So
I told her we talked about some of the things, like, we have a whole episode about Robin being a white author. And that's right. I said that we're not experts. I was like, I said something like, what did I say exactly? You'll notice that if you listen to the other episodes or any of the other books, you notice that we aren't experts on any of the topics or professional reviewers. We're a book club for busy people to connect, and one that celebrates life interruptions. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We leave that to the experts. It's about connection, especially with those who don't have time to commit to an actual book club. And so that's what I let her know. Cool. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting, and I invited her to submit a fan book if she wants to do the, join us if you'd like. And cool. She said thank you. And and that she doesn't normally comment on YouTube, but she happens to know about this topic, and anyway,
good.
that was really good. Yeah, it was a really good interaction.
I also think that we are critical thinkers. Like, I don't think that we're.
No, I know,
think
but we're
that-
not experts. But yeah,
No, we're not.
You might
experts,
be more.
But
Yeah,
she
yeah.
said we should use research and critical thinking skills.
But
And I
remember,
think
she's only
that we
listening to
do.
the one episode, right? She's listening
She's
to the
only
fan
listening to the
episode,
one
so it
you were
wasn't
at.
that in depth yet.
Which episode did she listen
The
to?
fan.
Oh, just the fan.
Number
episode.
6.
Yeah, so that's
Number
why it was
6.
a really good interaction, because she brought up subjects that we had already talked about, and because we talked about so many things on each book, it does really have to be separated out to fit onto a podcast. Most people don't want to sit down for 4 hours and listen to a single podcast.
I also think like kudos to her for like, because some of the comments we get are just like, what an asswipe, right? Like,
Yeah, she was really constructive.
and here's someone who you can
What an ass.
tell she actually took a moment to like think through what she wants to share, and in the best way possible. She wasn't just giving us praise, she was also offering some really helpful criticism, other perspectives, but she was very thoughtful in her delivery. It wasn't like personal attacky. Like, if only all her comments were so wonderful. Like, she did, I don't know, 2 thumbs up.
She
to
was
that.
engaging.
I like the
right?
praise too,
Mhm.
Kara. I don't mind just getting praise. That's fine too.
Oh yeah.
Talking about what Kara was saying, one other person put a comment on White Fragility episode 4, and they just were kind of bad-mouthing Desmond Cole, like being like, by the way, Desmond Cole revised his figure down to 10 to 12, including times he's been stopped by the police. And it's like, what?
Oh yeah, I read that.
10 to 12 is pretty big too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One is not
Same.
good either.
Like, even if that was true, he's like, he's a liar. Oh, okay. Is he a liar?
Yeah, or
Yeah,
he thought about it
Sapiens
more and
gossip,
he
that's-
I'm
and
just being
publicly
honest.
revised his statement. Like, or he
I
did a
did-
lot of effort and thought and went public with it. Yeah.
Like, anyway, I really like Desmond Cole, so I was
It's
like,
funny because, like, you know how like YouTube, it changes your feed based on like if you slow down to look at a video, like even just to look at the screen of the video, or I think that's one of the things it does, or what you watch. So how are these people finding your videos if they're not interested in the subject? at all?
oh, I
They
should
must
let
have
you
watched them
know.
a lot, right?
Oh, good
Um,
one, Mare.
We had way more people coming to our YouTube channel because they were looking up Robin DiAngelo. Yeah. So it brought people to our, Robin DiAngelo was our number one.
But somebody who's angry about Desmond Cole, are they searching for Robin DiAngelo? Or maybe they're looking up like
That
gossip about Desmond Cole. Like they really have something against them.
Maybe.
Very- for nonviolent communication, what should we have as a hot buzzword that we just
Puppet.
somehow have to put in the description of the episode because
Yeah, who's gonna
Okay.
search for that?
what's so salacious
Brad
about him?
Pitt. No, I'm just
Yeah.
joking. That's not even
Yeah. Yeah, Brad Pitt
Justin
and,
Bieber.
and Angelina Jolie
And
both
Justin
read this
Bieber.
book at the same time with Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Have a book club. It's true.
I'm going to go to a comment that was actually about nonviolent communication because all the rest of the comments have to do with our blog, actually. But we got on our Facebook book club group. I put the funny, I'm not sure if any of you, if you guys watched it or not, but the Wednesday funny was the Baroness von Sketchko show when they were like, hey, you doing okay? When the lady just decided to get ice cream. She was at a bookshop and she came home back from her break and had some ice cream and everyone's like, oh, you have ice cream. She's like, yeah, ice cream. And she's like, are you doing okay? Do you need to have a moment? Sometimes I like to self-soothe. And like everyone in the bookstore was like, oh, you're having
What
ice
happened?
yeah. Yeah. And someone on our book club wrote projection at its worst. And I feel like that does happen when people think you're like down, they're like everyone like, and you're like, no, I'm not
Love
sad.
ice cream.
Ah,
I just wanted an ice cream. Like, thank you for that. But I think at the same time,
This
it's
to someone
nice.
recently.
Did you?
I didn't confront them, but I was before this last shutdown in Ontario, I was tattooing someone and like someone was walking around out front of the shop, like eating a a bag of chips, but like a full size bag of chips,
Yeah.
which at home I do probably weekly, like whatever. But in public felt so brazen. So it felt so like, what?
Have you
There's
no
so,
shame?
Like no, with no shame, just walking, eating chips, like waiting for an appointment. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. I wanted to know more. I could hardly concentrate on my work. I was like, who eats full bags of chips in public shamelessly? They did not look like they had maybe like they weren't abusing their body with food in any way. There was just
Was it a lot,
perfectly
like a
healthy-
very fast eating, or
It
just
was
like
very
a
casual.
Yeah, was it
casual?
Casual.
It was the most like, I was like, when I grow up, I want to be that person. Incredible. Just like no food issues there at
That's
all.
someone
That
enjoying the
might be the
journey.
first person
They're
in
enjoying
history
the
who
journey
has
of life.
no food issues in North America.
That person right there.
Yeah, maybe they got a big bag because it was cheaper to get the big
Yeah,
bag,
makes
and they're not going to eat the
perfect
whole
sense.
big bag.
And
They're
then
only going to
frugal.
have a
I
few
eat that
bites.
in front of a TV fucking every week for sure. But
But
it was wild.
we're all trying to justify, like maybe they just wanted a bag
Love
of chips.
chips. They're just like, I feel like
know.
eating a
That
bag
makes
of
them
chips.
happy.
And they're living their dream.
They're living the dream. There's no
I
production needed.
sense a book interrupted challenge. You have to eat something
Yeah,
decadent
like
in
anybody who
public.
works in
Ah.
an office setting. like,
This is a
Kim,
challenge
are
I
you
can do.
surrounded
I
by
like
many
it.
people at work? You have to pack your lunch one day, and it's just a bag of chips. Like
No problem.
Yeah, so everyone,
So
you need to do
delicate.
something decadent and eat it somewhere where people will be like,
Are you okay? You know, mine is too. Just
Okay.
mounds of mashed potatoes. Like
Oh,
it's just
God.
only mashed potatoes.
You and your mashed potatoes.
Yes. And it's nowhere close to like a holiday, so it doesn't
Right?
make any sense.
And I'll I want to bring the gravy, like a separate
In a
A gravy boat.
thing. Yes.
You need a gravy boat, and then
need
you
a
pour the
gravy boat.
gravy in, and then pour
Yes.
it on.
And I just want to eat it in the lunchroom, just all casual. Just
I think
all
it should be a gravy boat that you only add one scoop of mashed potatoes to.
Oh,
So it's like, and then
Oh,
you eat it
it's
with a
soup.
spoon like
it's a
soup.
potato. It's a gravy
For your
soup.
drink.
Yes. Oh my God. Monday can't come soon enough.
Well, you got work to do tonight. You gotta start
Yeah.
looking.
You gotta mash some potatoes.
You gotta get to the store.
You gotta find a gravy boat.
I'm gonna do the chips. I'm gonna go classic bag of
Yeah.
chips in
Okay,
public.
classic bag of chips.
Okay, I have
Yeah.
something to admit. I just recently bought a big bag of chips, and it was for
was
Laird and
nice.
but it was cheaper than buying the little bag, and I was like, okay, I'll grab it. So I was walking around to get to Laird, and I opened the bag and started eating it.
It was-
Sure, but
it was
where were
easy.
you?
I'm
You were
near
in-
the
you were
near the
in front of the
office and
tattoo
near the
shop.
theater, but I mean, there's not
did
a lot
it
of
have
people
the same
around.
vibe? Did it feel
Yeah.
like, or did you not think twice? Was it you? Were you
Maybe.
around?
No,
But you
I
didn't
didn't
come in
feel
to say
weird
hi.
about it, but now maybe I should have felt weird
I
about
don't know
it.
why
No.
I think it's so weird. I was
No.
just like, I was like proud of them. I was like, yeah, you eat those fucking chips midday. Fuck yeah.
You're like
But I
living
was
vicariously
pacing
through them.
in front of
Well,
a,
yeah,
in
I
front of
don't
a
know. I
tattoo
guess-
shop. So
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know. It really wrecked that tattoo. No, I'm just joking. I'm fucking around.
Book interrupted.
All right, so here's my interruption. During Debbie's birthday party, we have like 20 kids here. The first time I had a chance to sit down the whole day, because I made pizzas from scratch, I was eating my cake, and Aja decided to come up behind me and cut the back of my hair with scissors. So that's happening right now. What the heck? Can I get a break? Can a mom get a break?
Book interrupted.
oh, and we have another untamed one for Leah's artwork, her untamed artwork.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a mail that said, because on the untamed artwork I said about, gender roles and that kind of thing, like expectations, that kind of thing, social norms. And he put, it's very interesting discussion. I'm a stay-at-home homeschooler dad, and I find myself on the other side of societal preconditioning. It is interesting when I'm asked what I do and I say I take care of my children in my house. I also happen to have a medical engineering degree and at times do it on the side, but it humors me to hear people's responses at times. And then Mare actually responded because I'm like, oh, Mare, you're a stay-at-home mom and you're a chemical engineer. Like, do you, anyway, she responded to him.
I love it. Like, I'll fill out like, you know, when you fill out forms, oftentimes it'll say occupation. And like when I sign up the kids for school or whatever, I put homemaker. It just makes me like, yeah. Because sometimes when you tell people in a group, oh, I'm a homemaker, some people respond with like support and others respond with judgment, I would say. Yeah, people will treat you differently.
There should be like another word for it. That's not like a stay-at-home parent. It's not homemaker. Homemaker sounds very.
It's so
old-fashioned.
1950s, right? That's why I love that. I was like, homemaker.
But we should come up with a new job title for that.
Sometimes I just put unemployed. Unemployed.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would want to
That's the
put
thing,
fucking lucky. I don't have to go to work every day.
But that's the thing.
Like-
If I don't feel embarrassed to put unemployed, that's how you slowly change stigma. Because, you know, there's a lot of judgment around that. I guess is
Well, you're kind of employed.
I am. Well, now I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But you have a
But no, you're
job.
employed even when you're taking care of your children. Like,
But I guess we'd have to look at what the definitions of employed mean. Does it mean, is there a financial
oh yeah,
transaction to be?
I mean, that's where the judgment comes from, where people start. Some people value somebody who's bring home a paycheck more than somebody who's working equally as hard or harder, and not bringing home money. So that's just the whole capitalist consumerism, like money is God type thing.
Yeah, we need a new word. Let's think about that.
I've been trying to since especially since talking to you guys about it. Now when I, you know, instead of asking someone what they do, because then sometimes I'll be like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, but if you stay at home with your kids, that's okay too. And I have this whole big thing. I was like, I got to work on the way that I say it, being like, I'm not judging you. If you don't work, that's okay. You know, like, so I don't know how to say it that makes it sound like
tell me about yourself.
Yeah, because what do you do? Like, it's like, because I need to know so I can figure out how much I value you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
That's not,
like,
but yeah.
yeah, but that's like, I think that's the preconditioning in our language, right? What do you do instead of, like Kara was saying before, like to be.
How
right?
do you
like,
do?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Who are you? Or
I once asked somebody, I was
into?
like, so what are you passionate about? And they gave me this kind of like, they're like, blank stare and just kind of like,
it's a bit too intense for that level of conversation.
I know. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
that
you're
might
like,
be
well,
too
that's
intense.
aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to tailor that one.
I think I would go like, what are you into?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. I
And
think
they'd be
tell
like,
me
well, what do
about
you mean?
yourself.
I'm like, I don't know. What do you do with your time?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to small talk a ton, and I'm always asked, what do you do?
Maybe we should give you a list of different phrases to try. You can tell us how
Just
to
like
work out.
Nonviolent communication has a lot of lists about emotions that aren't really emotions. If you've enjoyed these video highlights, listen to the full episode on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember to like and subscribe and ring that bell to be notified when new episodes are published. Find out more by going to www.bookinterrupted.com.
Book Interrupted.